This is a fictional mindbender, and the 1,000-Year Blood War arc of Bleach just saved the character of Orihime Inoue for me. And honestly, it also made me finally comfortable with the ending of the manga, spoilers by the way, for her marrying Ichigo. Yeah, I said it. And before anyone jumps in and says, well, Kubo said, or, well, you're not a real fan, just know that I am standing on this. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc didn't just upgrade her powers, it fixed her presentation, her agency, and her entire role in Bleach's emotional core. So this video isn't about shipping and it's not about power scaling. This is about how one arc finally gave Orihime the respect that she deserved. I watched Bleach years ago, and I did read parts of the manga, but honestly I didn't get that much into it. I do know about Orihime's tragic backstory and that she loved Ichigo from the jump, but the way she was presented was honestly quite mid. Again, I know what Kubo said, but the presentation just was not there for me in either media. And it wasn't because she was weak, but because of how she was portrayed, how she was written. Submissive, passive, always reacting, but never initiating. And at no point was there any sense that I got from Ichigo that he felt anything romantic towards her whatsoever, and that their relationship wasn't unique compared to the others. Orihime's growth was always in the context of Ichigo, if anything else. Even something as major as overcoming her jealousy of Rukia, which is an improvement, to be sure. And for all her defenders, which I know there's many, it's equally worth mentioning that some of her detractors don't take her seriously because she has large breasts and so much fan service is focused on that. That basically she was just there for basically eye candy than she was for actual growth and nuance and depth. Again, even despite her tragic history. Even the largest breasted woman in the series, Rengiku, got more emotional depth, backstory, and agency and nuance than Orihime did during these early years, at least to me. Speaking of Rukia, by the way, let's just get this out of the way right now. It was never surprising to me at all that so many Bleach fans shipped Rukia and Ichigo because that was one of his few relationships that does actually stand out as unique amongst all the others. It has its own unique voice and quality. Because Rukia is loud and blunt, as in like American loud and blunt. She is not passive and is always one to express her opinion, even if she is showing loyalty to her brother. While she too has her moments of insecurity and weakness, the majority of the time she is always a confident woman who doesn't take shit from anyone, least of all Ichigo, and hence the relationship. And yes, I know about Renji and her history with him, and honestly, it's kind of the same situation. Throughout the early part of the series, it always felt that she got more screen time or page time with Ichigo than she did with Renji. And what page time she did get with Renji didn't, to me, feel like there was anything deeper that could allow for something deeper or that would hint at that. Not like her relationship with Ichigo did. Ichigo and Rukia's personalities play off each other extremely well, and I actually looked up a comparison for this video for the number of times Rukia and Orihime have page time in the manga specifically, and it's about 2,996 total manga panels for Rukia to Orihime's 2,735. That's nearly twice the amount. But either way, there should have been plenty of time to show Ichigo developing some amount of romantic interest and say, yo, Inoue is kind of hot. Or something, at least. I mean, it didn't help the creator's argument given that the series openly hits at others thinking that there was something romantic going on between Ichigo and Rukia openly, even though both of them did deny it, or at the very least were kind of vague about it. That being said, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc changed everything for me and resolved all these issues, because it did not just give Orihime more screen time, It also finally gave her more agency. She wasn't just crying about Ichigo and being weak and whatnot, not doing anything. She was actually doing something. And it also finally showed that Ichigo was taking notice of her. Such as when Chad was actually wingmanning Ichigo about Orihime's outfit, and Ichigo finally reacting to it and to her, and something more than just a friend or a person in need of protecting. Also equally worth noting is that during this arc, Ichigo was spending less time around Rukia, which would have drowned out, like it has before, the rest of his relationships. Now, Orihime is more upfront, no longer being the cheerleader from the sidelines or the damsel in distress. Then there was last week's episode, that brutal Inoue fight. And let me just say that this is the moment that basically flipped everything for me and that basically made me a believer in Orihime. And again, I'm going to stand on that. Because this episode was Orihime's initiation. Ichigo, despite his new powerful form, again, is getting washed by Inoue. Even with the brand new power-up, Inoue still is managing to beat him. In fact, he literally dies multiple times, and it's only the fact that Orihime kept reviving him that he was still able to fight. Inoue quite literally tortures Ichigo, and then he tortures her. And that was just hard to watch. Watching her getting shanked over and over and over again, pinned against the fucking pillar, and her still getting up, still giving that savage ass look of like she was not going to give up and that she finally has some sort of resolve to not break. Orihime doesn't cry, she doesn't fold. And again, that savage look on her face and in her eyes says it all. That literally said, wait a minute, this is not the same person I was watching before or had read about. This was like kind of like a different beast altogether. Where the hell were you all this time? Watching her endure that, I think, deserved more than just a passing compliment from the late arriving Rukia of, you endured well. I mean, again, she was pinned to the damn pillar several times with her guts dripping out. What the fuck do you want, Rukia? Now we get all three of them all together again, and things start up like they always have in the past, with the banter and the yelling between Ichigo and Rukia, and Orihime quite literally framed in between them. But this time she's not crying, she's not being jealous about it, she's not feeling insecure. She actually seems kind of happy about it. And it was a much needed lighthearted moment after that torture session that we just went through. And it's about time. It's about time. That's all I got to say about that. That being said, even when they treat him to a double Bankai attack, they still get their ass beat. And it's then that Orihime steps up. And I mean really steps up. She gets angry at herself for not being strong enough like she did in the past. And then she does something about it. Finally. She tells Ichigo to stay back this time. She is going to take the lead. And it was quite interesting watching Ichigo's face. And honestly, me wondering if his ego was kind of dented by this because he's always the one that assumes that he has to be the protector. And now she's protecting him. I mean, that's got to hurt on some egotistical level, I think. And that is not the worst of it for him. Out of the three of them, Orihime is the one who actually beats Inoue finally. The one who was protecting. The one who was too weak. The one who was just a large-breasted woman who was always yelling for Ichigo in the background. She is the one who is not only the who beats him, but it shows so much power that she is now probably the second most powerful being in the entire series, giving her ability to reject reality if she doesn't like it. That is God tier level power there. And that basically makes her arguably practically a god. I mean, talk about overpowered. And I thought Ichigo was overpowered. I mean, holy shit. I mean, she literally rejected Inoue and herself from existence. And that was just amazing to watch. It was unbelievable. And again, spoilers, Even if you happens to rewrite history later so that this point never happens, the point will still stand. That Orihime is not just an overpowered character, but now she has the resolve to use that when she feels that it's necessary. She has the ability to do something about her feelings whenever she's starting to feel insecure or just that she's in the way. Orihime is starting to show agency. And yes, it does still revolve around Ichigo, but even with that, when she makes the sacrifice, she also says that she wants to heal the entire world, which is why I think that her power just went up to like fucking god level. She's now more than an equal with Ichigo. She is beyond him at this point, actually, I think. But again, though, this video is not about her power. This is not about power scaling. It was about her presentation. The show was finally showing Orihime with agency and initiating the attack, rather than just reacting to one. Kubo can write what he wants, really, and I respect him for that. And again, what he says goes. I have no problem with that. And moreover, fans can ship whoever they like. But for me, this was the one quality that was sorely lacking in Orihime Inoue in Bleach, especially during the Arrancar arc, that I was now finally getting to see. Because the fact of the matter for me was that Orihime didn't earn any respect from me before. Not emotionally, not narratively. Now she did. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc fixes that problem for me by giving her the most brutal initiation a story can give a character narratively and survive. With agency, initiative, and most importantly, fucking savage resolve. Not because of power and not because of shipping wars, but because her presentation finally matches the importance that everyone kept hyping up about. This is the Fictional Mindbender. Have a good day.